Okay, firstly, let me say for YouTube, this video is just my own personal opinions, ideas and speculations. It is just philosophical and theoretical for entertainment purposes only. Now, saying that, really the matrix we are living in is a debtor's prison. We're living in a debtor's prison. You see, what they've done is they've made us both the creditor and the debtor. Now, you can't do this. You see, if we are the debtor, we owe money to the bank, then we're paying this money back to someone. We have to pay it back. But who are we paying it back to? We're not paying it back to the bank. The bank has taken the money from a creditor. So who is the creditor for the bank? Well, the creditor for the bank is me. They've taken my own money, given it back to me, and then said I owe it to them. And then I have to pay it back to them with interest. So this is totally deceptive. This locks us into this debtor's prison. They're not supposed to do that. Essentially, we are tied into slavery. But they can't do that, and they know they can't do that. So they can't just say, you guys are all slaves. That's it. You work for us forevermore. Because we would rebel. They can't say that. But what they can do is say this. They can say, would you like to be slaves? And then we go, yes, okay. So they say, fantastic. All right, you are all slaves. But they can't, again, they can't just ask us that question because none of us would say yes. So what they do is they ask it in a different language. So they say this, would you like to be a citizen of the United Kingdom? And we go, yes. It's a different language. But the real question is, would you like to be a slave? And we say yes. See, it's all deception. It's cheating. They're not supposed to do this, but they are. And we're trapped in this system. But once they've started this, of course, they cannot ever reveal the deception. They have to keep it going. Once we've said yes, and we think we are doing this of our own free will, essentially we are willing slaves, they have to keep us willing. Because as soon as we wake up and think, hang on a second, this whole thing is a farce. This is a joke. This is deception. You're cheating me. Then the whole game collapses. So they need us to be stupid, naive. We believe it. And we carry on willingly, thinking we are free. So that's the whole game now. So we have to have a so-called democracy. That gives us the impression we are free. Now there is such a thing as a real true democracy, but it's very, very difficult to achieve. And what we've got now is more like, I think they call it a pirate democracy. Because it's all run by business. It's all about money now. So money is now the king, the sovereign really. Money is the ruler. It's not the living man and woman. You see, it's all corporate. Corporations only answer to money. They only answer to the bank. So all corporations are really just an extension of the bank, including the so-called state. And they have to tie us into this system by making us also a corporation. So we are also a business. But of course we are not. So again, the game is played like this. Would you like to be a business, a corporation, along with us? And we say yes. Now, of course, they cannot ask us that question because we'll say, what? No way. Instead, they say, is your name Toby Jacobs? And we say yes. Okay. Now you've just said, yes, you are a corporation. You are a business. And the name of that corporation is Toby Jacobs. You need the surname there. You see, it's the same question in a different language, legalese. We do not understand it. And again, they get away with this in so many different ways. You see that the most powerful one is this democratic fraud. You see, when we vote, you think that is your democratic vote. You are choosing something. You're not. Remember, you've already agreed that you are a corporation. You're part of this money system. You've already done that. But when you vote, you see, it's taking it to the next level. You sign your name in a cross. You just put a cross there. Now, a cross means your signature. You cannot even write your name. You are illiterate. You're a baby, a child, a moron, an idiot. And what you've got is your name printed at the top. So you say, here you are, Toby Jacobs, put a cross here. He said, it doesn't matter whatever else is on there. You putting a cross in a box with the name, essentially what you're saying is, yes, that is my name, but I don't know how to spell it, and I'm an idiot. Here's a cross. So now again, you have done something in another language. They have asked you a question on a piece of paper, and you have said yes. But to this question, you have said, yes, I am an imbecile. And what you're saying is, I do not understand. I'm just a child. Please, would you look after me? You have essentially handed your power of attorney over to the state by putting a cross. And you think that was your vote. Because you don't even know what vote means. We don't know any of these words, what they really mean. And they change the meaning of the words again, time to time. They're always changing them. They're adding new words. Now, it's worse than that also, because when you sign your vote in a cross, essentially you're saying you are not sovereign. You are not fit to make a proper decision. That means your vote does not count, cannot count. You see, you're not supposed to let children vote. You have to have a certain level of self-awareness, real consideration and understanding to actually make a vote, make a decision that might affect other sovereigns. There has to be a level of respect between living beings. Only then can you have a vote. The vote must be between sovereigns. In the old days, ancient Greece, I think you were supposed to be over 50 years old to vote. Now they want the voting younger and younger because you don't know what you're doing. You don't understand anything. So you're not sovereign, you cannot have a vote. It's a tricky business. But when you put a cross, essentially you're saying you don't understand anything, your vote does not count. So what you are voting, when you think you're voting for a person, it's just your opinion. We can hear your opinion, but your vote does not count. That's really what's happening. Again, they cannot show it. We have to believe the vote. But look at who you are voting for. They give you a selection of people. The same banks choose the people. And these are really just CEOs of the corporation. It's a corporate business. You are an employee of the business and you are given your opinion as to which CEO would you like to run the business. It's a franchise. And it doesn't even matter. They still don't have to listen to you anyway. You look at this, how many times really the votes went one way, but it just went the other way. Again, they call it voter fraud, but you look at it, they still just brush it under the carpet. So even when it's an illusion, so mostly the illusion works, but sometimes the illusion breaks and then they have to brush it under the carpet. But we still essentially believe it. Yeah, we got to vote. No, this whole thing is a dirty trick. And they control you through layers, multiple layers. The first layer is your name. It's the one that most people don't get. Just by accepting the name on your birth certificate, you have agreed to be part of the system. Yes, I am a willing slave. Done. It's your slave name. The second layer is they create these things they call legal titles. So it's a bit more than the name. See, I'm Toby Jacobs, but I'm Mr. Toby Jacobs. Are you Mr. Toby Jacobs? Yes. So Mr. is a legal title. It puts you in a position within the system, and it's very low down. You're right on the bottom. You're the slave. Do you accept the position of slavery? Yes. They can't ask you that. They say, are you Mr. Toby Jacobs? Yes. Same question. It's all of them, you know, Mr., Mrs., I don't know, Doctor. All of these different titles put you at slightly different levels. Now, of course, you've got things like Sir, and you've got knighthood. They give you these other titles, Lord. You could be a judge. So these titles are a bit higher up within the system, but you're still tied into the system. You're accepting a legal title. That puts you in a position. You have agreed to contract. Yes, I am part of this money system. So the way out is we have to step back and we have to take back our living being. We have to be the living man, the living woman again. So we have to separate ourselves from this dead corporate persona identity. It's an avatar. We all know it now. You've got an avatar on the internet and your avatar can do things. But this name on your birth certificate is a paperwork avatar. And that's what's doing everything. See, when you go and do your job, it's not you. When you do your job, you're Mr. Toby Jacobs. Well, that's not me. That's the corporation. So you haven't got a job. It's your corporate identity has got a job. Your corporate identity is a slave. That can be. Because that's not a living thing. They can justify it. They've just said, would you like to be this dead entity corporate slave? And you say yes. All right, come in, join us. They're not saying you are slaves. No. They can say it. No, you are free. Do what you like. But would you like to be this dead entity corporate slave? Oh yeah, okay, yes. All right, come in. It's a clever, dirty trick. And like I said, they need to maintain this illusion. They don't want us to understand it because then we will stop. And we can at any time just stop and say no. But it's so difficult now. We've let it go so far. These guys have got security forces. Again, this is all private security for a corporation. You think we've got an army, all this stuff. No. No such thing. All of this is private security for private corporations. All of it. And it only applies to us because we agree to be part of the corporation. But the trouble is now, these people are the mafia. They'll cross the line and do what they like. They'll lock you up. They'll exterminate you. Do whatever they want to you now. If you wake up and try and get out of the system. They want to put you back to sleep. No. Come and take your medicine. Come and take your poison food. Go back to sleep. Join the corporate hamster wheel. You see, the matrix is a cycle. You're going around and around. It's a debt cycle. But the debt cycle is infinite. Goes on and on forever. That's the cycle we have to break. So this whole world is really just business. And we are all, corporate businesses ourselves. And the whole world is this interchange of money games. It's not about life anymore. Nothing to do with the living being. It's all to do with the corporation, and the master of the corporation is money, the bank. And we have to step back and step outside that game, because we are the living beings. We are the life force. Essentially, they are stealing our life force. That's what they're doing, stealing our life force, turning it into money, and then using that to trap us into becoming enforced workers. But it's a trick. They've convinced us we are free and we're doing it out of our own choice. And remember, I've explained this before, your signature is used to create money. So even now when you sign on the electoral roll, again, that's used to create money. They need money to finance this whole process. And again, you won't see this money. This money is essentially the loan from the bank. The bank creates the money and lends it to the state. So that's what we think's happening. But remember, where did the bank get the money from to lend to the state? The bank gets it from the creditors. The creditors are all the signatures of all the real living people, living men and women, all of us. So when we become a citizen, a member of a nation, really you're joining a corporation, and you are saying you are giving permission for that corporation to turn your name into money. So you are the creditor for the bank, and the bank lends that money to the state, and then the state demands more money off you. It's a crazy, crazy system. When you see this, you will see how dark this taxation system really is. It's pure evil. And you've got to get through this, because people still think the sovereign movement, we're just cheeky. We don't want to pay our tax. We're not responsible. The taxes go to support all of us. No, they don't. This is extortion money. They've already got the money. They've taken the money from the bank, and the bank has taken the money from us. And the state has facilitated it. And the legal system has created a language that tricks us into saying yes. All they got to do is get your name. Is this your name? Yes. Boom. You're in. Put a cross in a box. Boom. You're in. And they can create money from that. So check out the links below. It talks about the system I'm working on and the Sovereign Project that explain all this crazy stuff in more detail. So thank you so much for watching. Do leave me any questions or comments, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.